Hello, 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 everyone. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Sabelle. I will be your facilitator for tonight's session. Just to be clear, we are here at the International College Options Virtual College Fair powered by StriveScan. Again, my name is Sabelle. I'll be the facilitator for this evening. We have some absolutely amazing individuals here from amazing institutions. Now, I will say it is about a 45-minute session, so this is just an appetizer, right? Get a little bit of a taste of these amazing institutions from all over the world. But remember, it is up to you to do your due diligence afterwards and go ahead and follow up with these amazing schools. Now, before we get started and before we hear from our amazing Jay Mccann from International College Options, just a few housekeeping items here. Remember, this is a webinar style format type of virtual college fair. And what that means is you are muted and your video is turned off. So the panelists cannot see or hear you. So you're probably wondering, well, Sabelle, I have a lot of questions. How do I ask them? That in and of itself is a great question. You'll ask those questions in the Q&A button in your Zoom toolbar. So if you look at your Zoom toolbar, there is normally right in the middle a Q&A button. You'll go ahead and click that, type in your question to the presenters at any time. I stress at any time. We do not have a live Q&A happening at the end of the session, so it is important to go ahead and ask those questions throughout the virtual college fair, and those presenters will go ahead and answer those questions. But please do us a favor if you could and put the school's name within the question. That would be awesome. Now, fun fact, there are breakout sessions happening after this virtual college fair, so if you have a question that was not answered during this time, you are more than welcome to go to the breakout session afterwards to ask those questions. The breakout session link was emailed to you when you registered for this virtual college fair. So just be aware that that link is in your email. All right. So again, attend that breakout session. It is additional, which is really awesome for those schools to get a little bit more of a one-on-one with you. Also, if you want to relive the fun with us, a recording will be available. So all of the sessions are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/ICO. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Jay Mccann from International College Options, and I'll be back to introduce our first institution.
Thank you so much, Simon. It is so great to get the opportunity to be able to meet with all of you. Welcome to the ICO Virtual Fair. Thank you again for attending as already introduced, I am Jay Mccann, and I've been a part of ICO since I was in Denver, but now I am based in Atlanta. ICO was started in 2013 to educate high school counselors, students, and families about the opportunities for U.S. students to obtain a bachelor's degree abroad. We're a nonprofit organization with a volunteer board of current and former school counselors. Each November during International Education Week, we typically host fairs and school counselor luncheons in 2 or 3 cities. This year, due to the pandemic, we are hosting the fairs virtually. We are grateful to the 76 institutions across 18 countries who are participating in our events. Each year, we also produce a PDF booklet that includes information on our partner institutions, and I'll share the link to the PDF booklet in the chat in just a minute. But tonight, you'll hear from the institutions in this session for about 6 minutes each. There are also other sessions going on at the same time. If you'd like to connect individually with any of the institutions involved tonight, please see the link in the chat. Listing individual virtual room links for each institution. From 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time tonight, you can go to that link and speak with the institution directly. Feel free to visit multiple institutions using their individual links. We'll be sending out a survey with the next couple weeks, and we hope that you'll provide us feedback so we can improve upon our events in future years. And thanks again. With no further ado, I am going to pass it off to Sarah Healy at American College Dublin, who will be kicking us off on sharing about each of the institutions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jay. And Sarah, you are on.
Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining with all of us tonight. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay. So hello again, everyone. My name is Sarah Healy, and I am the admissions representative from the American College Dublin. I'm actually based right outside of Philadelphia in Pennsylvania. So if you have any questions about studying at ACD or studying abroad in general, you would be contacting me and I would be happy to answer any and all of your questions. So I love starting off my presentation with this gorgeous picture because I think it gives a really great representation of the city of Dublin as a whole. As you can see, there's plenty of things going on, a lot of stores, restaurants, pubs, libraries, the list is endless, and a lot of different spaces for you to discover. So it definitely has that metropolitan busy feel, but as you can see, it still definitely feels more intimate and more of that community feel. So it gives a really great balance of both. So it's not too overwhelming, but there's still a lot to do and a lot to see. The city is great. It's extremely safe. The people are very friendly. It is an English speaking city, so you don't have to worry too much about that language barrier. So there's definitely a lot of advantages to studying abroad in Dublin. And then if you bring your view to the back of the picture, that is St. Anne's Church, and that is where we hold our formal graduation ceremonies. And our graduation is actually happening tomorrow. So there's something for you all to look forward to a little further down the road. So we are an Irish American university, which means we uphold the standards of accrediting bodies from both Ireland and the US through the Quality and Qualifications Ireland and the Middle States Commission on Higher Education. So what this means for you as a student is you kind of get to pick the path that makes the most sense for you as a learner. So through the US accreditation, you're going to be taking that 4-year track. Well, you'll take all of the courses underneath the degree that you've applied for, but you'll also take a year of those general elective courses that aren't necessarily involved in your degree. And then through the Irish accreditation, it'll just be a 3-year track, and you'll just be taking courses under the degree that you applied for. So for example, if you applied for international business through the Irish accreditation, you wouldn't be taking any, let's say, creative writing courses. So this really gives you an opportunity as the student to just say, hey, what do I like more? Do I like having a range of classes, or do I really just want to focus on this one? So we are a very small school, but because of this, we're able to offer our students very small and interactive lectures. They're typically less than 20 students, but this arrangement really allows, as I said, an interactive experience with a lot of discussion and debate, and of course, a little sprinkle of Irish wit. But it's definitely not just you sitting in a classroom and a professor lecturing at you. There's a lot of peer breakout groups. You get to hear a lot of different opinions and perspectives. Even though we are a smaller school, we are still very diverse, which brings a lot of interesting takes in the classroom. Our professors are also always looking for different medias to use within a lesson. So a lot of videos, songs, anything that they can do to keep it really interesting. So it's definitely not, a boring experience in the classroom. So as I mentioned before, we're located right in the heart of Dublin, and we really encourage our students to take advantage of the city, because Dublin really will be an extension of the classroom. We're about like a 30-second walk from the National Gallery of Ireland, which is the most beautiful museum I've ever been to. Everything is like within a 15-minute walk at the furthest. And as I mentioned, really friendly city, really safe, plenty to do. And I said earlier, the city is also an extension of your classroom. So we want you to obviously learn things in the classroom and take all of that in, but we want you to also explore throughout the city and kind of see the things you're learning in the classroom and have that full circle moment. So I want to quickly speak about our administration. Like the size of our school, it's small by design, and they all operate under an open door policy. Our students are really encouraged to drop by and get to know everyone. We are a small school because we want to be able to help our students in any way we can. And for that to happen, there, has to have that open dialogue, and we have to know what's going on so we can help you as best as possible. So these are the programs we offer: that 3-year program in international business and liberal arts, and then a 4-year BA in international business, hospitality management, event management, and liberal arts, and then a 4-year BFA in musical theater, performance, and creative writing. So as I mentioned before, we welcome applicants from every corner of the globe. And because of this, we're aimed at gathering more of a holistic view of the applicant. We really want to get to know who you are. So what's required is a minimum 2.0 GPA, and then a resume as a transfer mature student, and then a personal statement describing why you would like to study your chosen area at ACD. So this is really your opportunity to paint yourself in a vibrant color for us to really get to know you, because in the end, we want to make sure that we're a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for us. We've always been test optional, and we will continue to be so. So if you want to include the scores, that's great. But if you don't, it will not hurt you at all. So our tuition and fees for non-European students are €9,000, and our BFA is a little bit more expensive just because your classes are held in different rooms and you have different materials. And the last time I checked, that exchange rate for the €9,000 is like 10,400. And we do operate under rolling admission. So as you apply, we will get you a decision within 2 weeks. And our application page is right on our website, and I will drop that in the chat. Once again, my name is Sarah Healy, and I am the admissions counselor from the American College Dublin. It was so great speaking with all of you tonight. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, American College Dublin. If you have any questions for them, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have the University of Essex.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and very good evening from the United Kingdom. My name is Tim. I'm the International Officer for North America at the University of Essex, and I'm going to be telling you a little bit about our institution today. Now, before I go into the University of Essex itself, I always think it's worthwhile just having a quick slide on why students should choose to study in England. Now, when you're looking to study overseas, the UK and Ireland tend to be two very popular choices for students from the US. And within the UK, we have 4 constituent countries, ourselves, England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and our friends in Scotland, and we have St Andrews coming up later. And there is a bit of a difference between studying in England and studying in Scotland, for example. So with English universities, for the most part, our bachelor's degrees are 3 years in duration. There are some exceptions to this. Medicine, for example, is a 5-year stint. Pharmacy can be 4 years, but for the most part, our bachelor's are 3 years. Because we don't do general ed, we've got what's known as an early degree specialism. So students become an expert in a given area a lot quicker without having to take modules outside of their interests, whether it be human rights or marine biology. All 3 years will be focused just on that subject. Further to this, tuition fees can be considered as very competitive, particularly in relation to studying out of state or at a private institution. Whilst we have a few private institutions in England, for the most part, we're sort of quasi-funded between student funding, government grants, etc. So our tuition fees are broadly between $20,000 and $40,000 US dollars per year. Further to this, there's a large number of international scholarships available, determined by each institution. We're eligible to take federal aid loans, and veterans benefits are also accepted. The application system is very straightforward. You apply through a common application system known as UCAS. And one final point is that students will get to stay and live and work in the UK for 2 years post-graduation following an undergraduate or a master's degree. Now, what I really enjoy about working in the US, the university, is that our US students come to us for entirely different reasons. Each year we'll welcome about 100 students from the US for undergraduate and postgraduate courses. The University of Essex is a medium-sized university in the UK. We've got very large, vibrant campuses, all close to London. If you've ever been to the UK before, you'll know it's a very small country, but all of our locations are within 45 minutes of London. We've got the UK's leading acting school, according to The Guardian in 2020, which is known as East 15. It's a conservatoire-style acting model, and it's the only non-American school recognised by IRTA, meaning that we audition twice yearly, usually in the US, in Los Angeles and New York, and they've got some amazing courses in acting and physical theatre and stage combat. We've also got a very strong reputation for the social sciences, particularly human rights and human rights law. We were one of the first universities to approach human rights as an academic discipline. We're 29th in the world currently for politics and international studies, and also for areas such as economics, business, and numerous other social sciences. We're very, very strong. We've also got one of the UK's leading volleyball and basketball setups in the UK, and we recruit students every year from the US for this. Now, I'm just going to go over 6 very quick slides in true 6x6 form. Now, this is where our location is in the southeast of the United Kingdom. Our largest campus, Colchester, is in the UK's oldest recorded town. So when the Romans had come over, they had initially sort of landed in Colchester, and indeed it was the UK's, England's capital until about 30 AD. We've got a mixture of beaches because we're coastal cities, towns, and we're, again, located very close to London while students having a campus experience. We've got a very strong reputation for academic teaching. We offer an interdisciplinary approach across a wide range of subjects, and we've got well over 200 undergraduate programs to choose from. And we're ranked TEF Gold, which is the Teaching Excellence Framework Gold. We've got the highest ranking teaching available in the UK university. We're renowned for having a very socially conscious student body, and we've got excellent student life on campus. We've got well over 160 sports clubs and societies. Students live on campus with guaranteed accommodation with their own room. This is another difference between studying in the UK and the US. Students tend to get their own room, and we spend a lot of money per student. A very cost-effective option, as I've mentioned before, we offer numerous scholarships for students from the US. We offer a scholarship of £5,000 off the first year's fees for students from the US. Anyone taking the IB and as a 34 and above, we have an automatic scholarship of £2,000, and again, accredited to take federal aid loans. We've got much higher scholarships for sporting scholars as well, particularly in the field of basketball, volleyball, and tennis. And further to this, our degrees are 3 years in duration, meaning that you're missing a year of fees when compared to the US or other 4-year options. Another thing to mention is that in the UK, or in England at least, master's courses tend to be 1 year in duration. So in the 4 years that it would take to complete an undergraduate degree elsewhere, you can actually get a bachelor's and a master's degree. Very strong for employability at the university is 91% of our undergraduate students are in work or further study within 6 months. We've got some excellent initiatives, including a Languages for All program, allowing for students to study a language for free alongside their degree, and a Data Science for All program, allowing students to gain key skills in a growing and important area for employability. We have numerous events throughout the year. And I'm going to be ending on my favorite thing about the university, which is our global community. It's around 40% of our students are from outside of the UK, and we've got well over 140 different nationalities represented at our university, and this really adds to a rich and fulfilling academic experience where you're sharing your ideas with students from all across the world. That is, I think, from myself. Share my contact details in the chat, and I shall look forward to speaking to some of you later. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for the University of Essex, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Victoria University of Wellington.
Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon from Wellington, New Zealand. If you were hoping to hear a New Zealand accent today, I'm really sorry to disappoint you. I'm actually American myself. I hail from Connecticut. I studied here as an international student, and I have lived and worked here ever since. I just love it that much. So where is New Zealand, you might be asking? We're a small country in the South Pacific, about 11 hours from Los Angeles, where most US students fly from, and about 3 hours from Australia, which is our closest large neighbor. New Zealand is a country of 5 million people, so pretty sparsely populated, in about a land area that's about the size of the United Kingdom. So obviously, the United Kingdom has significantly more people than 5 million. And so you get a sense that when you come to New Zealand, of course, we have cities, we have life, but in between those cities, it's a quiet and beautiful country. We are the least corrupt country in the world, according to the Corruption Perceptions Index, first in Human Freedom Index, and the second most peaceful country in the world. I think we're behind Iceland, maybe. Where I am right now is Wellington, and this is New Zealand's capital city. There are 500,000 people in the Wellington region. We have 2,000 hours of sunshine per year, including what looks to be about 16 hours today. It's a beautiful day out. We have 50,000 hectares of forests and parks. So if you're somebody who likes to get outside and explore, there's not really a better place to go. We are the cafe capital of New Zealand. We have more cafes per capita than New York, or so I'm told. I can't verify that. But yeah, if you like coffee, you like breakfast, this is a great city to be in. It's a great lifestyle. We have 500 kilometers of coastline, or about 350 miles. So a lot of beaches for you, beach people. And we have the highest median income in New Zealand. And so as a student, this is really good news for you, because if you want to get a job here in Wellington once you're done, because we're the capital and we're the seat of government, there are tons of jobs, well, good paying, good career jobs here in the city. And we make use of our capital connections in how we teach. Victoria University of Wellington is ranked #1 in New Zealand for research intensity. So what that means is we produce the highest volume of the highest quality research in the country. We are top 100 in the world in 11 subjects and top 1% in 20 subject areas, according to the QS ranking systems. And our business school is just part of 1% of global business schools with Triple Crown accreditation, meaning 3 large international organizations have assessed and vouched for the quality of our teaching at our business school. So you know that Victoria University of Wellington, despite the fact that we're down here in little New Zealand, it's a very globally connected and high quality university that you'd be studying in. We have 22,000 students, which makes us about maybe a medium to large size compared to US institutions. 140 plus clubs and societies. We have students from over 100 countries here at our university, and we have a goal of being 0 carbon by 2030, a goal that we are making progress towards, and we are hitting our benchmarks. So what could you actually study here? We have a pretty wide variety of subjects: architecture and building science, business and government. Naturally, being in the capital, studying government here is a really excellent option. Design, film, and media. Peter Jackson's Weta Workshop, the producers of Lord of the Rings, are based in Wellington, and so we have a very robust film industry. Education and teaching, engineering and digital technologies, health, all of the humanities and social sciences that you might expect at any large university. We have an excellent undergraduate and grad school law program, music and theater, and of course, we have a wide array of sciences. The environmental sciences and biological sciences are very good here, given our sort of the nature that's in New Zealand. So how do you actually apply and get into this university? So New Zealand has what's called a guaranteed admissions process, meaning you don't need to submit an essay, you don't need to submit a recommendation letter. We simply have minimum requirements academically that you must meet. And if you meet them, you will get in. It's not 50-50 or anything. If you meet the requirements, you get in. Our requirements for US students is an SAT score of 1160 or an ACT score of 24. If you don't meet those requirements, but you're still really keen on coming, you can get in touch with me and we can discuss alternative options for you. You can apply online with us by just sending your high school documents, a notarized copy of your passport, and if you studied in an environment where English was not the language of instruction, some sort of proof of English. The New Zealand academic year starts in March, so it's kind of the opposite of the US. We go from March to November, but some students also study in what's called trimester 3, which goes from November to February. Our application deadlines are on the screen, but usually it's about 3 months before the start of each trimester is the application deadline. But of course, you should always apply earlier if you're interested. We are a full participant in the US federal aid program, meaning we can accept US student loans. So if you're filling out a FAFSA, you can include us in that application. Like England, studying overseas can actually be kind of affordable in some cases, given the high tuition in some domestic US institutions. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about your college options. Student housing, we have 14 halls of residence for students. About half of these are catered, meaning that there's a dining hall, and about the other half are non-catered, meaning that you'd be responsible for your own food. As an international student, you are guaranteed accommodation should you apply before the deadline for application. And of course, while you're staying in our accommodation, you will have access to a lot of support. Student life, we have a really vibrant campus. Being in the capital, we have a lot of students who are very active. As I mentioned, over 140 clubs and societies, all sorts of students associations you can join, and leadership programs where you can meet government officials, diplomats, even ambassadors from certain countries come in and speak with us. So thank you very much for attending this rapid session today, listening to me and listening to the other universities. I'll put my contact details in the chat, and I'm looking very much forward to meeting interested students, teachers, counselors at our sessions after the day's over. Thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you have any questions for Victoria University of Wellington, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have St. Francis Xavier University.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to speaking with all of you today. And of course, since there's only so much we can cover in 6 minutes, we'll make it nice and quick, and hopefully people will be joining me for our breakout session. So first things first is, where is Sanefex? We are in Canada, and more specifically, we are in the province of Nova Scotia. So that is going to be about a 12-hour drive from Boston. To put that into perspective for you, a lot of our American students do drive, however. So that being said, we are a nice maritime Atlantic coastal community. So you're never too far away from the beach. Here is an overshot of our campus. We are kind of a small condensed campus. Sanefex has about 5,000 students, and the town of Antigonish that we are located in has about 5,000 residents. So I like to say that our school is a village within a town, because it's about a 50-50 split. That being said, even though it is a small town and a small school, it's not boring at all, because there are going to be 5,000 other people the same age as you, who have all the same interests as you. So a very fun and exciting place to be. So why Sanefex? Why are we special? And why could we be a good fit for you? Well, an unparalleled academic experience. What does that mean? It means small class sizes, professors who know your name, and hands-on opportunities. So the average class size at Sanefex is going to be around 30 students. And we are also the #1 school in Canada for professors knowing your name. So it's a very intimate learning environment. You're not going to be in a huge lecture hall, and you're not going to be taught by a TA. We only have full-time PhD professors who are responsible for all of your learning. So something to take advantage of if you thrive in that type of environment. Unique learning opportunities. We push learning outside of the classroom wholeheartedly. Anything to pad your resume, get your hands on research grants, things like that. We push our students to achieve in. Exceptional community atmosphere. So we like to say at Sanefex, everyone has your back, from the people who live in your residence with you, to professors, our custodial staff. Everyone takes great interest in your life and is there to support you in any way, shape, or form that you may need. So at Sanefex, we have 4 main undergrad faculties: arts, science, and business. And then if you decide you want to become a teacher, you're able to get your education degree with us as well. The class sizes on the screen are a little bit inflated. They are reduced, as I said, around 30. And as the years go on, your class sizes get even smaller and smaller. 96% of our professors are full-time PhDs who are at the forefront of research in their field, and will absolutely go out of their way to try and get you on a research grant and to get you involved in their projects. If you're someone who needs some student support, we have all of those things available for you. So residents, the cornerstone of our social experience at St. Francis Xavier University is our residence halls. About 90% of our first-year students live in residence, and that number drops down to about 50% as the years go on, as there is plenty of off-campus housing available for you. So you don't want to miss out on residence. So you want to make sure all of your paperwork for residence is in order by May 15th, because you will be guaranteed a spot before May 15th. After May 15th, not so much. So want to make sure you move fairly quickly and don't put things off. All of our residents come with optional dining plans as well. So campus life, what is there to do outside of the classroom? Well, you can see all the things that you would probably expect: fitness and recreation, intramurals, something we take very seriously. All winter long, we have huge inter-residence hockey tournaments. So always something to entertain yourself with. And as you can see on the background of all of the slides here, we have a very beautiful New England style campus. So if a nice small liberal arts college is kind of your flavor, we can definitely meet that need for you. So what do some of our student supports look like? If you have someone who lives with a learning disability, we have those supports for you. Our international office will definitely help you with your visa requirements and things like that, academic advising, as well as new fitness and recreation facilities. So admissions. So it's worth noting that we do treat our US applicants the same as we do treat our Canadian applicants. What that means is we do not want your SAT or your ACT scores. We don't want any personal essays or anything like that. your admissions decisions will come strictly from your transcripts. So basically, if you have good grades, you have a very strong chance of getting in, and you don't have to worry about standardized testing, essays, or things of that nature. The only thing that you would need is to kind of meet the requirements that are on your screen there. So grade 12 English, and then other university preparatory classes as you see below. If you have any specific questions, definitely feel free to have a chat with me in the breakout session. We do accept AP classes for credit as well. So if you are enrolled as an advanced placement student or an international baccalaureate student, you could get transfer credit and just shorten your degree. So our application is super easy. It's right online. All you do, it takes about 15 minutes. All you do is fill out a couple of drop-down questions about your personal info, and then you email us a PDF of your transcript and you have applied to our university, nice and easy. So we like to give out a lot of free money at Sanefex. It's worth noting that we have scholarships specifically designated for our US students. But if you have a final grade 12 average on the screen that you see in front of you, you get the corresponding amount of money on the right. And those are scholarships that you don't have to apply for. It's also worth noting that depending on the program that you're in, so for instance, public policy and governance, you could get up to $60,000, and our Schwartz School of Business up to 80. So there's me, some good contact info there, and I will definitely put that in the chat as well. And I look forward to seeing you all later. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. If you have any questions for St. Francis Xavier University, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have University of St. Andrews.
Hi there, everyone. Great to see you all virtually tonight. My name's Kelsey, part of the admissions and recruitment team at St. Andrews. Apologies, I don't have a Scottish accent, but hopefully it makes listening to me for 6 minutes a bit more easy to understand. I have been lucky enough to call Scotland home, and I'm excited to welcome you all to the University of St. Andrews. The University of St. Andrews is located on the eastern coast of Scotland. We are about an hour-and-a-half drive north of the capital city of Edinburgh. So if you come to visit us or end up attending St. Andrews, you will fly into Edinburgh. That will be your hub, and make your way out to the coast from there. We do have students that come from all corners of the globe, and so we are certainly considered a global, worldwide university. But zooming in a little bit, this is our St. Andrews. And as you might notice from glancing at this photo, there isn't an obvious campus that's set apart from the town. The town and the university really have grown up together over the centuries. And so it is a wonderful place for students to find their feet, both at university and as a place to call home. You won't be reliant on Google Maps for very long. You'll be bopping all over town between your residence halls, lecture halls, other university buildings, and you won't be very anonymous for very long. We are a mid-sized university, but being in a small town, smaller town, you'll start to recognize professors in the coffee shops and recognize your classmates and things. So if that big city anonymity doesn't really attract you and you'd rather have a sense of community at university, St. Andrews could be the perfect place to land. Now, the league tables have been very kind to us this year. We have been ranked the #1 university in the UK, so very, very proud to hit that commendation. And we also rank #1 for student academic experience, and that really speaks volumes to me. The setting of St. Andrews is a very historic town. St. Andrews is considered one of Scotland's ancient universities, and the town is very old as well. Around 22,000 people call St. Andrews home, and that includes the 10,000 student population. So almost half of St. Andrews are university students. So the students make up a huge part of the culture and community at large. It is a safe and supportive community to be a part of. As a backpacker turned grad student, as a solo female traveler, I can certainly attest to how safe and wonderful of a place to call home. Scotland's also St. Andrews is famous for its long sandy beaches, as well as being the home of golf. So world's oldest golf course is right in St. Andrews. So you'll see travelers come from all over the globe to try at the old course. The university, as I mentioned, is one of Scotland's ancient ones. So we were founded in 1413. So 600 years of history and tradition that you feel everywhere in the university buildings. 10,000 students strong, as I mentioned, and they come from 130 different countries and territories all over the world. So those global perspectives, that diversity truly is brought to the classroom each and every day at St. Andrews. We're also quite proud of our international research reputation. We are ranked very highly as a research institution, but being 10,000 students strong really allows our students to work quite closely with those professors and academics at the tops of their field from an earlier stage in their college career. And being such a global diverse university really lends itself to a global alumni network and career opportunities around the world. The degree structure is a bit different, even compared to some of my fellow UK universities. So wanted to make sure that that is kind of clear in your mind. We are a 4-year undergrad program at St. Andrews, so a little bit different there. And each degree program will fall under one of 4 faculties. So some other colleges might have the College of Liberal Arts, College of Engineering. We have the faculties. So you'll be part of the Faculty of Arts, Faculty of Divinity, Faculty of Medicine, or Faculty of Science. And we do have a list of what we call cross-faculty subject areas that could fall under either science or art. So there are many, many ways that students can really create their own specialization and really go deep in their studies, starting from year 1, because you do not have general ed. As our friends at University of Essex discussed as well. So if you are sitting in a class like psychology, that is a cross-faculty course, there could be students next to you studying neuroscience and students on the other side of you studying international relations and history. So really facilitates some pretty incredible discussion in class. So here's how our degree structure looks if you're a visual learner like me. Hopefully this helps you. In years 1 and 2, you do have some breadth and flexibility. You'll be taking 3 subjects and you can kind of play around, mix and match, find what your best fit is. It's at the end of year 2 that students need to be very clear-eyed on what they want to study exclusively in years 3 and 4, and that's what they will graduate with. So if you only want to study history, you are all in, you will graduate with a single honors degree. If you maybe want to study history and you also want to study international relations, half and half, cherry pick from 2 different subject areas, that's great as well. You'll graduate with what we call a joint honors degree. So many ways for students to pull modules from 2 different subject areas and really create their own specialization. Now, outside of the classroom, also really important to mention, being a smaller town, I do get asked by students, like, what am I going to do after class? And there is so much to get involved with at the University of St. Andrews. The Student Association really is the best place to start. We have over 150 clubs and societies, everything from volunteering, cultural clubs, traveling, baking, Harry Potter, you name it, there's probably a club or society all about it, and it's a great way to connect with other students. If you are an athlete, you can get involved with St. Sports. We have more than 50 sports teams on offer, competitive teams and recreational leagues just for fun. So entirely up to you. You can get involved with that as well. And that about does it for me. So hope to see you in the breakout room. Thanks so much for coming along today.
Awesome, thank you. If you have any questions for University of St. Andrews, please put it in the Q&A. Next up, we have Franklin University.
Thank you very much. Let me get this set up, please. All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Harry Herbert. I represent Franklin University, Switzerland. And today we'll go over some of the programs and things that we offer for student experiences as they relate to an American university in the heart of Western Europe. So I always like to show a picture of the city of Lugano to show you a little bit about the environment and the circumstances upon which students will be experiencing their college career. You can see that we're only about a 20-minute walk from the downtown area being the crescent shape of buildings along the lakefront there for the namesake Lake Lugano. In the foreground, you can see one of our primary academic buildings, showing you that we are tucked away in a nice little suburb of the city, but still close enough to be able to walk to the cafes and restaurants and experience all the things downtown. So moving on, we are an American university at our core, at our structure, and everything that we're basically focused on. So it's English taught. You do not need to know a different language in order to attend the institution. And we are fully accredited both in the United States and in Switzerland, meaning that you are getting a dual recognized international degree upon graduation. Our student body sits at about 400 students. So I think that we're going to be about a little bit smaller in terms of the schools represented here today, but that's okay. Although we're small in number, we are wildly diverse and international. You can see countries represented in terms of percentage breakdowns of where our students are coming from there in the middle at the bottom of the graphic there. And so only about half of our students come from the United States and North America in general. So we have lots of people coming from all over the world to truly give you an international experience and intercultural experience with your student body. We are located in the southern region of Switzerland, in the city of Lugano, in the canton of Ticino. If you're not familiar, cantons can be sort of roughly thought as similar to the idea of states within the United States. Each canton has its own way of doing things, but sort of within a federal system of Switzerland itself. For those unfamiliar with the country, there are 3 general breakdowns of cultural and regional differences around the country, and they all are sort of bordering the countries surrounding Switzerland. So the western side being very French, the northern side being very German, and the southern side where we are very Italian in its influence. Now, this Lugano is one of the largest cities in the country, so you're not going to be in the middle of nowhere. The best ways to get to campus would be to fly into either Zurich or Milan, Zurich being 2 hours north and Milan an hour south. Switzerland is one of the safest countries in the world, and they very much take care of their country. So it's a great place to be. It's also a really cool place in terms of a food and cultural experience. You're going to get lots of options and opportunities to use your passport while you're out there. So not only are social clubs and travel an integral part of the student experience, but also through academics, which we'll get to shortly. The academic programs at Franklin focus primarily on the humanities and the social sciences. You can see some popular lists of declared majors there on the bottom right. And it being Switzerland, of course, things like business, economics, finance are very popular, but so are many other programs that are popular in the United States, including the ones you see there on the chart. However, we also have pre-med and pre-law tracks for students to follow should they want to pursue those graduate programs back in the United States after their graduation. And I would also like to mention that we are able to accommodate for double majors, maybe a couple different minors if you wanted to focus on one major. And we also offer French, German, and Italian language programs if you'd like to learn. Academic travel is one of the key components and features of the Franklin experience. Basically, one of your 5 courses per semester includes 2 weeks of travel to a different country to study that subject. The costs of which are included in the tuition. They're also non-major specific, which means that you can go to the business in London class one term and then the environmental science class in Iceland the next. So it's a really great way to incorporate the experiential approach to learning alongside that of the academic in the classroom itself. There's lots of ways to fund your education. I will mention briefly that our tuition is $45,000 tuition US per year. So we are no more expensive than many out-of-state public schools and many private schools in the United States. And there's lots of ways to help cover those expenses. Basically, we can bring in the FAFSA. We have lots of merit scholarships. You can apply through the common application for admission to the university, and admission and scholarships are reviewed simultaneously upon submission of your application. Merit scholarships range up to about $25,000 US per year, easily renewable as long as you're not on academic probation, for example. If you are coming to us with a citizenship from a European country, we are also able to accommodate the European discount, which is about half off tuition, equivalent to our top merit scholarship. So between need-based assistance, the FAFSA, and merit scholarships, the vast majority of our students are paying nowhere near the full cost of attendance. And our students, when they're finished, very much go across the globe. They have a wonderfully recognized international diploma, and that provides them lots of flexibility for being able to pursue both jobs and graduate programs across the world. You can see some examples of recent graduates and what they've gone off to pursue here on this page. And I would also like to mention, accommodations-wise, we do not have any dorms on campus. We have only apartments. So basically, the off-campus living experience that our students are looking for in the United States, we provide on campus for us. So lots of ways to help engage. You don't need to have a car. I would go so far as to say that I think the Swiss have some of the best public transit systems in the world. So it's really easy to accommodate navigation. You don't need to go from one end of the city to the other to get from your room to other parts of campus. It's very much a walking city. It's also only about a 10-minute walk to get in between both of our two campuses. So we've touched on a few details of the university and the experiences. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. If you all could join me via video, I'd love to see your faces again. Thank you so much, panelists and presenters, for being here. I definitely learned a few things, and I'm sure our attendees did as well. So thank you so much for being here. My attendees, thank you so much for being here. I hope you learned a ton as well. Remember, this is just an appetizer, so it is really important to do your due diligence and do your research on these institutions and see which one is the best fit for you. But thank you for joining us. A quick 5-question survey will appear when you go ahead and close out this window. Give us some feedback. We really do appreciate it. There is the additional breakout sessions happening afterwards as well. With that said, that link is in the confirmation email that you received after registering for this event. So go ahead and click on that link, and then you'll be able to go to those breakout sessions. Remember, if you would like to relive the fun, a recording is available at strivescan.com/ICO. If you do have any questions in regards to the link for the breakout sessions, feel free to contact StriveScan as well. There is a contact link, I believe, or an email in that confirmation email. With that said, I'll let you all go to your breakout sessions. Thank you all again so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Bye, everybody.